Okay, so it's not the prettiest day. It looks dark in the phone, but these screens always look dark in the daylight. So I'm just doing a little panning, and just to test to see what the quality of the panning looks like. I have a tendency to pan too fast at times, and I don't think about it, I just do it. So I'm trying to slow myself down here a bit. Let's see what happens when I zoom with this phone. And this is a Galaxy Samsung Mega. It really looks dark. I don't know if it's going to play back dark or not. I think I'll check the settings. Here's a post. Zoom in on it. And zoom out on it. Okay, now we're going to go to another camera. This is my Samsung Mega that I did a previous panning practice with. This is my little point and shoot. My little Canon PowerShot A590 IS. I've had this camera for several years. And I do a lot of my videos from it. It does an okay job. And it's easy to just pull out and use. So we're going to do some panning methods with it, or some panning practice. I'll call it panning practice. So we will practice with this camera now, which is my little Canon point and shoot. And this one doesn't do very well when I zoom in from a distance. It does better if I zoom in and then shoot closer than to zoom in and try to get a clear image, because that's not going to happen. It will blur the images. I'll show you what I mean. Zoom into this rooftop and it'll get blurred. I'll turn off the camera and turn it back on and it will be clearer. Now it's clearer. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out. And we'll do a little panning here. Pan up the pine trees. And back down. And over the back pasture. And this is out at full range. It's a 4x zoom. Looks a little bit brighter than the cell phone did. And I can change the settings on this. I couldn't change the settings on the cell phone that I could see for brightness and such. I can change it on this, I just didn't. Just left it on the previous setting. Okay, and here's the post. Zoom in on the post. And I will lose my clarity now. Zoom out. Zoom back in. And this camera is my Panasonic Lumix DMC-FZ70 with the 60x zoom range. It has a massive zoom range. And I might, panning gets a little jumpy with it, so I'm going to try to slow it down and see if I can get good clean panning or if it's just going to stay jumpy. I'm also doing all this handheld, not with a tripod today. Okay, now I am panning with the Panasonic. Do it slow. and see if it turns out jerky at all. From what I can tell, it's picking up the best image of all three cameras. And of course, this is in the least extended range of the 60 by zoom. Okay, we will zoom into the rooftop, and I can talk and zoom and not lose any audio. And again, this is handheld, so it's going to be a little shaky on my end. And the image stabilizer gets a little shaky on this camera too. Zoom back out. Pan back around again. Actually, there's a plane up there, if I can find it. Oh, I can't seem to find it in the viewfinder. There we go. Take advantage of these things when they come across, right? Okay, back out again. That's how far away that plane is. And back to panning. This camera has an incredible zoom. And I think I'll play with some of the creative modes on it too. I have modes on the Canon camera that I can change over to as well, but not as creative as this camera has. And the post. And I'm standing in the same spot I was standing at with the other two cameras. This is much clearer, much better. And if you do slow zooming in, you're less likely to blur your subject. That's at full zoom. Okay, now I set the camera in panning mode, and I will do a pan. I tried some of the creative things, and I've found that you cannot do the creative modes when set in the panning mode. It's getting hot out here. Sorry, I just zoomed it up a little bit because I'm getting hot. And again, this is handheld. And I'm finding that the image stabilizer gets a little iffy. So this is in panning mode with handheld. Whew, the sun is getting warm. It's almost time to bring my portable AC back. Which I think by next weekend I'll have to do that. Okay. So that was panning mode.